I had a great case today. You know, midlife crisis affairs devastate a lot of marriages, and today's couple is no exception. After their divorce, they got back together, but things aren't working out anymore. So today, they came to divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Felicia Nash and Troy Nash. The two of you, I don't know what's going on. I spent a good 15 minutes back there trying to figure out the trajectory of your relationship. Still don't have a clue what happened. So, Ms. Nash, why don't you tell me, start at the beginning and bring me up to today. Just like who got married, then divorced, and lived. Walk me through that.
Well, Troy and I met probably like 10 years ago. We married a year and a half later. We stayed married for 8 years. Our marriage was, you know, the sex life was wonderful. The marriage was off, you know, we had our problems, but not so severe to me. He understood me, I thought he did, and I understand him up until last year when I got to serve divorce papers.
You didn't think anything was wrong at all?
No, ma'am, no. At that time, I had a relative who was sick, and I was spending time with her. I had to go to the pharmacy to pick up some medicine, so I called a friend up to come and give me a ride because I didn't want to leave her for too long. So he come to get me, and my husband at the time was like, I'm coming to visit. I'm like, no, wait a few minutes, let me get to the pharmacy and then come back. Well, he came up to the hospital anyway. When he got there, my impatient friend was honking the horn like, come on, because I got him in the middle of, he was doing a project at home.
So he said, come on, I'm doing you a favor. You better get down here.
And so, you know, so I'm like, I got to go. So I give him a kiss real quick and I leave.
That's not true.
Okay.
Well, I'll get your version in a minute.
I leave and I come back to the house. I went and picked up my meds and came right back to the hospital. Well, he leaves, and I mean, I know he was upset because he's like, oh, you putting him first. I'm like, no, you got to understand. I needed a ride. It's 100 degrees outside. I need to get to this pharmacy and get right back. Well, I get back to the hospital, you know, he calls me, he's upset, but that evening on the phone, I called him, and he has never done this. I don't care if he's talking to the Pope on the phone, he's gonna continue to talk to me. Well, I call, he goes, I'm gonna call you back. This is that same evening. I'm like, you're gonna call me back? Okay, so I called him back late on that night, he don't answer the phone. I'm like, okay, so I'm still not thinking anything of it. So, you know, the next day we talked briefly, you know, like I said, my family member gets a little better, you know, so, you know, I go back to her house, and about a week and a half passed. And I had been calling him. We would talk here and there, but not like we normally would talk, still not thinking anything was wrong. Until that day, I'm sitting in the tub. I got my music going. I'm just relaxing. The family member's asleep, and I get a knock at the door. And I'm like, who in the world is this? My family member goes, you need to get up and get to the door. So I grab a towel, wrap it around me, dripping wet, and I get served divorce papers. The towel dropped, the man looked, and I'm like, I mean, seriously, I was so in shock because he knows I love him. I mean, if he don't know anything else about me, he know I love him. So for me to get divorce papers
without even knowing that something was wrong. Mr. Nash, why don't you, in an abbreviated fashion, tell me your side of that story?
Well, see, that part about the hospital, it was sort of true, but she called, I called her and told her I was coming. She knew I was coming, and I was on my way. And then she kept calling and tells me not to come. I'm like, I'm almost here, I'm downstairs. This is when this guy pulls up in the car that I know she was cheating with. And I just come to one of we were already having problems. We're already having problems, and I'm thinking that we're going to work them out, try to fix them, not knowing that she was seeing this guy. And this guy pulls up, and I recognize.
Did you have any other reason to believe that she was having an affair or dealing with another guy other than that day?
Yeah, the disappearing act she does, you know. She's gone, and I don't know where she's at. She don't answer her phone. You know, that, you know, tells me right there that something's going on. You know, in this relationship that...
Did you two ever talk about it? Did you say, hey, baby, what's going on? Where are you going?
I tried to talk to her plenty of times about her, you know, disappearing. Tried to tell her, ask her many times, but she would not. She would just avoid the conversation, change it to something else, you know. And this is why I divorced her. That was it. I couldn't take it. I go to see her, and another guy pulls up, and he honks the horn. She jumps to get to this guy. I'm like, wow.
Could it at all be what she said it was? Like somebody was doing her a favor, you needed to go? You just don't believe
No, she could have went there. She could have did this stuff with me. We could have caught the bus or whatever and went to this pharmacy. But she wanted to do this with this guy.
Your Honor, may I say something, please?
What?
Please. This man has come and picked me up on numerous occasions to take me to the store, to take me places, and he'd be sitting up in the house, and he knew that this man would take me places. He knew that he was just a friend, and he knew that this man would help me out. He knew that because this was not the first time that this man has picked me up.
No.
What it was, Your Honor, when like I said, that particular night, I called Troy, and he told me, I'll call you back. Troy had already met another woman. Troy, no. I mean, he had already been seeing another woman.
I started this relationship after we divorced. Well, not after, but before we divorced. I started this relationship after I knew it was over.
And he didn't file for divorce until after he met this woman, Your Honor. He filed for divorce. From what I found out, he filed for divorce like a week after the incident happened at the hospital. And that's how it happened so fast.
But so you were seeing somebody else. Yes. You had somebody on deck.
After me and her were done. That's when I met her.
He's lying.
After we were done.
His story's not even adding up, Your Honor. Listen to what he's saying.
I heard what he's saying. I got it.
Your Honor. He's never told me I'll call you back. I don't care. President of the United States, he's never going to tell me he'll call me back. And when he told me that,
so it was already in the works.
He was already in the works.
He was already in the works.
Because there was so much going on before. Before that incident, it was still some other stuff going on that she done to hurt me so much.
What?
Yeah.
Well, give me an example of one thing that she had done to hurt you before this incident. Just an example of something.
He can't think of nothing.
Oh, yeah, I can think of lots of examples.
Well, just give me one. Give me the worst one.
Like I said before, the disappearing act she does when me and her were living together. The leaving the house when me and her were living together. The secret phone calls she would take in the bathroom or outside. Those things I didn't like.
Secret phone calls?
Yeah, you would go other places to take a phone call. When we're sitting here watching TV together, she gets up and leaves.
Why would I get up and leave? Because he'd be watching a TV program that he loves, and he does not like to hear me talk on the phone. Speaking of all of that, when I'm talking to a family member on the phone, he does not like that. So I'll go in another room and talk to my family member. Your Honor, he's making excuses. I would go into the other room and I would talk to my family member, and he does not like it because he don't want nobody else to like me.
When she talking to her family member, she would tell me they say hi to me.
He doesn't want nobody else to like me. He just wants me in this little shell. So if I go somewhere, he knows I'm not going anywhere. He knows I'm either with my family member or I'm back at home or I'm going for a walk or something. He knows that.
Okay.
He knows.
No.
I got you. I got you.
I don't know if I should say this or not, but he's the first man that ever made me have.
Okay, I get it. All right. So I got a picture of what happened. I think I understand, and I think I know what I believe. But at this point, Ms. Nash, you got to tell me, at some juncture, you guys ended up moving back in together after the divorce?
Well, as you can tell, he's a very...
Yes.
I met Troy Nash, Your Honor, and the first time we met, it was like, I was in love with him. Mm-hmm. He's... The first time, I don't know if I should say this or not, but he's the first man that ever made me have.
Okay, I get it. All right. I got it.
I mean, he was my best friend. I mean, he was there.
I get it. I get it. Mr. Nash, let me ask Mr. Nash this. How did you guys end up living together again after you divorced her because you believed she was seeing somebody else?
Well,
how did that happen?
Let me tell you, I do love her. I really do. She's fine. She's smart. I love her. Mm-hmm. I mean, things she put me through, I still love her after all that. I can't understand.
But walk me through what happened. I mean, because she was shocked. The process server got an eye full. Then what happened?
That little 20-year-old girl came around with the big booty. That's all. That's what came along.
After all that,
saying little things to him that filled his head up.
It was just before all that. I couldn't trust her. She lied so much, and I just didn't believe anything she said anymore. And she's calling me after all this. After we broke up and everything, I'm with somebody else. She's calling me, calling. She's in Arizona, calling. She's telling me she changed and crying, and just wanted me back so bad. And I do love her. I do. Mm-hmm.
So you believed her. You believed things would be different.
Yeah.
And you moved back in with her.
I moved back in with her.
How long was it good?
About 2 months, maybe.
Okay, let's change the story a little bit.
Well, what do you say happened?
Okay, so like I told you, Your Honor, before I even went to Arizona, I thought things were good between us. So that's when the calling actually was going on because I'm like, I love it. I found out he had some little girl, and so we talking, and then we hooked up at my family member's house.
Now, this is post-divorce.
This is before I moved to Arizona. So before I moved to Arizona, I found out that he had some little girl. But I'm thinking, I know Troy. he going through a phase, you know what I'm saying? Because I know our relationship. Troy knows. I know he loved me, I love him. So we do our thing at my family member house and everything, and things, I'm like, what's going on? It'll probably pass.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm getting
All I know there were things happening.
Okay, so I'm getting to the point. So when like you said, I was calling him, calling. So anyway, after I get the divorce papers, I was shocked. So immediately that day, I moved to Arizona, okay? So I didn't call him maybe once or twice after I got here. So about a month passed, he called me out of nowhere. Matter of fact, the day that he called, I was about to go on a date with another man because I'm like, it's time for me to move on with my life. I don't need to keep, thinking about him. So that day he called, and so I ended up not going on a date with this man, and him and I started talking, and we ended
up back together. How long were you together before it went south again?
Well, when he got to me, and that night, like I said, normally it's magical. And
Mrs. Nash, you are
I'm sorry.
Killing me.
So that night when he came, I realized that I was too hurt. It just wasn't, I missed him, but it wasn't the same. That night, the day he got there.
The day he moved back in.
Right. And I'm like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I got to do some adjustment because it's like he had been with another person and I just couldn't get over that because I would never be with another person. I can't stand for another man to touch me, and the thought that he let another woman touch him grossed me out. I mean, so.
Did you notice from her end that she was reticent or that she wasn't really ready to have you back in the house?
I didn't notice that. I know she wanted me back there.
I did.
She wanted me back there.
I wanted her back.
But you didn't notice any hesitancy on her part?
No.
She was cool. No. There was no problems, no issues. Why do you say things went bad after 2 months? What did you start arguing about?
Little things like after I get off work, she wanted me to help do this or do that. I would be too tired. I'm tired. She would argue at me about that. I'm like, so she'd tell me things like another man would do so many hours at work and come home and help their wives. I'm not these other men. I'm tired. Let me get some rest. Let me rest for a few minutes.
Would you ask him to help around the house and then compare him to other men, saying other men would do it,
yes.
Why won't you?
It's not a comparison. I don't know. I guess I live in a fantasy world where a man can go to work and work 50 hours a week and still come home, mow the grass, and help out because that woman can go to work and work 40 hours and still come home, wash the dishes, and cook and clean, and lay in the bed with her man and take care of him. So I figured, if I can sacrifice all this, then you can sacrifice it for me too. Because I'm working just as hard. Sometimes I'm working 10 hours, and I'll still come home, baby, here's your dinner, because I believe in a woman being a woman, and I believe in taking care of my man. I felt like a man needs to be a man.
Was she working as well?
At that time, she wasn't working.
Excuse me?
No. Nope.
Excuse me?
No.
When was I not working when I wanted you to come home and do something?
This is when you wasn't working, when I was working.
No, you said 2 months afterwards. 2 months afterwards, sir, I was working. I worked up until December.
What about the sex toys, Mr. Nash? Did you have any?
I work at a hotel, so I find lots of things. That's all it was.
But he claimed it was for me.
Ooh.
He claimed it was for me.
It was brand new. It was brand new.
Have you been living together for years but find that splitting up is as complicated as getting a divorce? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Don't forget to join the conversation on social media. Go to facebook.com/divorcecourt and follow us on Twitter and Instagram @divorcecourt. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram @divorcecourt. Mr. Nash, I understand that when you do argue, she tends to throw you out of the house. Is this true?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about how your arguments go and how you end up getting thrown out of your house?
Oh, wow. Okay. She got family members that moved into the house. I know they don't care too much about me, but
that's true.
Fine.
Okay.
But they moved their other half into the house, too.
So a whole lot of people from her side of the family moved in the house.
In one-bedroom apartment, yes. I said, I didn't want that to happen. Your family member's cool, but their friends, it's not
cool.
I don't want, no, I'm not going to have that.
Did you have a whole lot of folks, relatives and friends of relatives in the house at some juncture?
Yes.
My family member moved there, and it was not going to be like a move-in for months. She brought her other half with her. Now, it was comfortable in the house. It wasn't like a one-bedroom and we all just uncomfortable. I had it fixed up where we were very comfortable in the house.
No, we were not.
We were very comfortable.
No,
he
we
had
were
to
not.
have it.
Yeah.
At that
You
time,
might
Your
have been
Honor-
no, Miss Nash.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You might have been comfortable, but he wasn't comfortable.
Okay, let me. I'm sorry. Can I please say something, please?
No.
You know why he was? Okay.
No.
I'm sorry.
A person has his home where he lives. And if he doesn't want other people in it, other than the two people that had joined together to be in it, you can't have those other people there. That's just what it is. You
Can I please
understand
say
what I'm
something?
saying?
Yes.
What have
Okay,
you
can I please
got to say?
Okay, before my family member came there, he was like, baby, you need to make sure you got a job, make sure things is right for him when they get here so they can be comfortable.
Yes.
Now, all of a sudden, they get here and he's uncomfortable. You don't want to know why, Your Honor? Because he had started seeing another girl. That's why he was uncomfortable. Because the night that he got put out of my
That's
house,
not
Your
true.
Honor,
That's
I went
not
out.
true.
I went outside. His friend had the phone.
That's
I
not
looked at
true.
this phone and it was saying, "Oh baby, your lips are so soft." And that she just sent a text message, all these naked pictures of her on the phone.
That is
That's
not
when he
true.
got put out.
That's
That's
not
when he
true.
got
That's
put out
not
the
true.
house.
Okay,
Your Honor.
Ms.
And
Nash,
is not
Ms.
true.
Nash,
That's
did
not
you
true.
ever have any pictures of another naked woman, another woman who was naked on your phone?
No.
You're lying to the
No.
judge.
Ms. Nash,
I'm not gonna lie to her. No,
please.
This is after I got put out of the house. This is
So how
after
did
I
I
got
see
put
the
out of the
pictures
house.
that you
Ms.
got? It
Nash,
was after you got put out.
please.
This is after.
How soon after you got put out of the house did you have a woman sending you naked pictures?
No, she wasn't sending them to. We were just friends. They weren't naked. She just had on some skimpy outfits. She wasn't
How
naked.
did Ms. If you were
got a hold of my
already
phone.
out of the house,
She got a
how
hold
did
of my
Ms.
phone
Nash
afterwards.
find out about it?
She got hold of my phone afterwards.
How did she get a hold of your phone if you were
We got back
gone?
together. I would come over.
So you guys were back and forth and back and forth,
yeah.
and you would have somebody in between.
No, she wasn't. She was just a friend. She wasn't nothing. She wasn't nothing.
There was no romance there.
No,
You're
no.
saying that was just a friend of yours.
Just-
Your Honor, ask
just-
him about the
just a
sex
friend.
toys then.
No.
That he said was mine. I found his
Ms.
bag.
Nash, I'm going to ask about the sex toys, and
Lord.
then what about the sex toys,
I
Mr.
work
Nash?
at a
Did you have
hotel.
any?
I work at a hotel, so I find lots of things. That's all it was.
But he claimed they was for me.
Ooh.
He claimed they was for me.
It was brand new. It was
They were
brand new.
They was
It
brand
wasn't
new, but he
used.
claimed they was for me at the
It
time.
wasn't used,
But
it was
I'm
brand new.
finding, Your Honor, okay, that one day, particular day, now this is before I put him out, so he keeps saying this after you got put him out.
I'm
He's
about
lying.
to put you out.
Okay,
I
I'm
cannot
sorry.
stand it anymore.
I'm
Come
sorry.
on.
But
Come
Your
on.
Honor,
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
I need a mental health break.
Okay.
On Divorce Court, I hear it all. Do you need help with your relationship? He has told you that he does not do women's work.
When it comes to doing domestic work like laundry, he's told me, oh, I don't do women's work. What do I have you here for?
Ooh, we're gonna have to get you bodyguards to get out of here if you said something like that. Visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. I want silence from this side of the room. Do you hear? Nothing. I don't want to hear a word. I'm going to ask him a couple questions. I'm going to say a couple of things, and then I'm heading out the door. Okay. Mr. Nash, are you two currently living together?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many times have you been put out and come back since you came back after the divorce?
3 times.
3 times?
Yeah.
Aren't you tired of it
I'm
yet?
very tired, Your Honor. Very tired.
Listen, you two, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but I think what you need to do is work it out because you obviously can't stay away from one another. You need to keep her out of the general community. She's, buck up, suck it up a little bit, keep her contained and restrained and maintained in the household. And you guys are far, far, far too old to be running around with this little booty chick over here and this dude over there, whoever's giving you all these rides all over town. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know who's sending you naked pictures, but you're too old for it. And I can't take it no more. And this matter is adjourned. I don't know about you, but I hope Troy and Felicia stay together. I don't know what she was talking about. I'm sure it made sense to her. It didn't make any sense to me, but he needs to keep her away from the rest of us.